Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I'm not here with Geeky Sparkles in this video. We're going to talk about an indie game called The Great Rebellion and how it has been yanked from the Nintendo eShop. In fact, they were supposed to drop it, I think, tomorrow. It's supposed to drop very, very soon. The indie developer over at Cult Games gets a very cryptic email from Nintendo that did not meet their standards, and it could actually make the company look bad. So what is so terrible about this game? Does it have a lot of porn? Does it have a lot of violence? No. What's terrible is that it roasts the left. It roasts left-wing politics, extreme left-wing politics, but it's done in such a comedic and ridiculous manner that I don't know how anyone could look at this and be like, yeah, this is intentionally malicious or whatever. But I think somebody over at Nintendo of America was greatly offended by this, or this particular developer has made enemies online and they contacted somebody at Nintendo. We know this happens. We know this happens a lot, especially in the gaming space and the comic spaces. There's absolutely a network. And if you run afoul of those people, they will make your life hell. They will try to take down your projects. They'll try to, cut off your money. If you're not one of them, they think you're against them. And if you're actually calling out the politics, it's like a double whammy, right? So we're gonna talk about this in the situation. This is not the first time this game has courted controversy. I guess a year or so ago, when it first came out, they wouldn't let it go up for sale in Germany. And the Germans got weird, man. Ever since World War II. What happened in World War II? Ever since World War II, like even Transformers, the reason that Bumblebee wasn't a Volkswagen for a while was because they didn't want the Volkswagen brand associated with violence. That, Bumblebee had a gun. He wasn't allowed to have a gun. And this is kind of why he became a Camaro, I guess. But they got over it. I think the royalty checks are pretty good. They got over it. But we're going to talk about this situation. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Hey, we have a sponsor for this video, and if you're stress eating because Nintendo will not let you put your game up for sale in their eShop, maybe we have a solution for you. I'm just saying. Hey, if you're on the internet, you're probably stressed out, right? If you're stuck at your desk, you might be snacking through stress and fighting to keep the weight off. Hypnosio might be the app for you. This app uses hypnotherapy to fix the real cause. Who is Hypnosio for? Busy professionals, parents and post-pregnancy moms, yo-yo dieters, frequent travelers and executives. It works because of neural pathway restructuring. It rewires eating habits for long-term change. Hypnosio helps identify and manage emotional eating triggers. It resolves hidden mental blocks that prevents your success. It instills automatic portion control and healthier habits. Listen to these statistics. Participants using hypnotherapy lost 2 times more weight than those using traditional methods alone. Sustained weight loss maintained for 18 months after stopping therapy. Hypnosis-based programs reduce BMI and emotional eating significantly compared to standard diets. Plans start $16.50 a month for 2 months. 50% off, down to $11 a month for 6 months, 75% off. Give it a try. Here's my code, Clownfish15, for 15% off your first sub. Link in description, or scan this QR code. It's definitely worth checking out. Guys, thank you so much to Hypnosio for sponsoring this video. Let's get back into it. All right, guys, so here's what's going on as I understand it. Cult Games got this notification from Nintendo of America and Nintendo of Europe that they pulled the game at the last minute. We're going to go out and look at this guy's video. But first, we're going to look at the trailer for this game. And, the trailer might give you an indication of why this game is courting controversy, right? So let's look at the trailer. It looks awesome. I mean, the graphics are amazing. It's an amazing looking game. But, yeah, it's definitely going to piss some people off.
Time has come to ask, are you winning, son? Enter a future where freedom is a distant memory. Globalism has won, and rebellion is the only hope. You are Human 1028, one man against an empire. He's not just fighting for himself, he's fighting for Europa.
I gotta interject here. I love this style of graphics. I love the I call it 16-bit plus, where we go for the 16-bit style, but it also, you know, is a lot more advanced, obviously, than a Genesis or a Super Nintendo would be. So it does stuff that you could only do on modern hardware. But I love this look. If we ever do a Shadowbinders game, this is definitely the look I want to go for. But we'd do in like an action RPG or something.
Ancient powers will rise to aid him in the Great Rebellion. In a future where humanity is on the brink, you'll face the ultimate enemy, a digital
So far, so good, right? There's nothing here that's terribly offensive. I've seen a lot of, you know, like cyberpunk style games, right? Just wait. Immediately, when the first time I saw this trailer, I'm like, oh, I see what they're going to have an issue with.
Dictatorship that owns everything. But judgment comes.
Yas, Queen. Slay. I've been promised fame and eternal life by the spider. You won't stop us. Yas, Queen. Yeah, that's a boss.
For those who...
And then we have the fact checker AI, which has detected white males. White males detected. I checked the facts that create your reality. Conform parasites. It has to be Gemini, right? It has to be Gemini. Maybe you get turned into a Yas Queen if you get caught. I don't know.
Deserve it. Too bad they all deserve it. With every playthrough, a new challenge. Every weapon, a new strategy.
It's like real life.
This dystopian cyberpunk roguelike. The game where no two rebellions are ever the same. Make you rogue great again.
The music is awesome. The music is awesome on this. So it's got really good reviews on Steam, right? It's got really, really good reviews. And, you know, other than Germany not liking it, people seem very, very happy with this game. Again, this is the first time I've heard of it because of this controversy. I had people tag me in on it. But yeah, we're gonna talk about what probably went down, in my opinion. But here's what Cult Games himself is saying. Here's his video explaining the situation. Check this out.
Roland from Cold Games here with a little update regarding the Nintendo Switch situation. To recap, we recently ported our indie game, The Great Rebellion, which currently has overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam, to Nintendo Switch. Our little cyberpunk roguelike shooter went through Nintendo's lot check review process some time ago, and all our trailers and marketing material has been approved.
So this game was already approved. It was supposed to launch. And then at the very last minute, as I understand it, somebody at Nintendo sent him an email and said, no, your game sucks. It's going to make us look bad and yada, yada. No explanation, of course.
Then the game suddenly has been pulled from the American and European Nintendo eShops, which make up our core market, only one day before planned release. The Japanese page is still online and the game can be purchased there for now.
So Japan left it online, but again, North America and Europe. And now I don't know if they have the same people do approvals for America and Europe, if it's the same team or not, but we're going to let him finish and then we're going to tell you what I think probably happened. Well, I think probably happened.
But we don't know if it will stay that way. Nonetheless, this means we will lose by far the largest part of our projected earnings, and we probably now just have burned all the resources we put into making this port. The message Nintendo of America and Europe wrote to us read, quote, "Upon reviewing the Great Rebellion Edition 2084, Nintendo has determined that it contains content that could be damaging to Nintendo's reputation or brand."
Content that could be damaging to Nintendo's reputation or brand, but they allow hentai puzzle games on the platform. Okay, all right.
We asked what exactly that content was with an offer to remove it, but so far haven't gotten a reply. The PC version of our game did contain political satire, but we specifically toned this down for this version of the game. There is, as far as we can see, nothing in this game that could warrant Nintendo's decision. The question now remains whether this was really about the game's contents or simply about who we are.
I think you answered your own question. I think this guy, now again, I don't know what his Twitter life is like. I don't know if he's made enemies in the industry. Sometimes it doesn't matter. Sometimes just existing and thriving is enough to piss people off if you're not on the list, if you're not approved, if they view you as a threat or whatever the deal is. I think it's because of who you are. That, if you want my honest opinion, I think it's probably a combination. Probably what happened was somebody, because again, all these people are connected, journalists and the people working at the companies and the community managers, all these people are connected. Somebody in the chain of the beloved community of American video game people probably complained to somebody they knew at Nintendo because they knew this game was coming to get it pulled at the last minute. Like, oh, you don't have any idea. Why would you help this guy make money? You don't want to be you don't want to be on the wrong side of history, do you, Nintendo?
I want to be clear about what this means for cult games and for me. The Great Rebellion isn't just any game project to me. As our followers know, I created the PC version of the game during my battle with lymphoma and chemotherapy.
Oh, wow, that's awful.
It was a way for me of holding on when everything felt out of my control. Now I'm thankfully in remission, and my wife is due with our second child in about a week.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was a big thing for me to publish on a Nintendo console, growing up with a Nintendo Game Boy and an NES as a kid. This Switch release was supposed to secure our family's livelihood for the next time. Instead, we're now facing a very uncertain situation.
That's the point. And unfortunately, that's the point. And that's one thing I've learned over the last couple of years is once you run afoul of whoever is in charge, if they are activists, they're political activists, it's not enough for you to have a minor setback. They want you to lose your livelihood. If they've decided that you can't be converted, very much like the plot of the game, right? If you can't be converted to their way of thinking, then you must be exterminated. And how they do that usually is they go after your money. And again, we've run into situations like this where I think some gremlins were trying to mess with our money. Not the higher ups at the company. It's very possible and very likely that people up the food chain at Nintendo have no idea that this happened. But it was rather just some underling that had the power to veto, basically a glorified community manager, and they denied him, and they're hoping it'll just go away. The thing is, now that it's out there, it might blow up. It might blow up in their faces, because if it turns out that, he did censor that political content and there really wasn't anything wrong with this game, and it is a personal issue that one of the employees at Nintendo has with him, or somebody that's friends with him has with him, then it's going to make him look really bad. I'm just saying, like, you would have been better off just letting the guy put his game on your platform, right? If it wasn't breaking any rules.
All because of a decision made 24 hours before launch. And we still have no clear explanation why. Be that as it may, we will continue to do everything to resolve the situation. In the meantime, you can purchase The Great Rebellion on Steam. Buying it there will help us the most, and the 97% positive reviews should speak for themselves. Stay tuned, we will keep you updated.
Yeah, this is some horse shit. I'm seeing more and more of this, and I think, again, part of what is going on is just that as a lot of these activists are losing power, they're getting laid off, whatever, they're angry, they're bitter, and they're not going to let anybody else have it if they can't have it. So they're going to try to throw a wrench into things, even because actually it's weird. Our biggest detractors, we're not even that political. Our biggest detractors are actually other YouTubers, other Twitch streamers. Like, they don't want us to still be doing this. Because they scrubbed out. So because they scrubbed out, we're not allowed to do it. And I could totally see some ass mad, recently laid off AAA developer being like, well, I'm going to show you it's not fair. The chuds are coming into my space. This is my space, bitch. And I totally could see them doing that. But I wish this guy luck. I really do. Get the word out there about this game. I might pick it up. I've never played it before. I've never heard of it. before until today, but it is an interesting and tragic situation. And I don't think we've seen the last of situations like these. I think as these activists get more and more desperate, they will lash out at whoever they think is a threat to them, in my opinion. I'm going to wrap it up. Please subscribe. We will talk later.